So this is 1 hour lowest level I would track to start, and then we'll zoom out. You know the big picture, so I'll skip that part, but we'll have a quick recap for sure. I have this box added last night. It got a good bounce from here, but you see this again, not able to break above this local resistance. When it is under consolidation, from a TA point of view, there are multiple resistances that one could expect. That's why it's tricky sometimes. So I try not to go at a very low level, where because the supports are so close by. For an example, this can be support, this can be support, this can be support, and so on. Now, so and similarly, point of rejection also, you see this line. If I draw it, you can align with, this one all the way where it provide a bounce here, provided a bounce here, provide a bounce here, and so, and then if you can lower, even this is a valid one, and then this is also valid one. Point of bounce, point of bounce, point of bounce, see, even this is valid one, and this is also valid one. Why? Because this is a point of bounce, this is a point of bounce. So what I'm trying to say here is, that's why last night I said, I don't feel like I should provide a support, simply reason being it's just a cluster. And if you look at the big picture, the whole entire thing is consolidation. So you can put the whole a big box on top of it and say, whatever is happening here, we can't do much. Let it progress the way it wants to within this box, and when it is out of this S4, we'll see. That's the simplest approach, right? So you can simply draw a box on top of it like this. So you know what, I don't care what happens in within this one, because there are so many points, as I explained, in between where it could react. So if I say so right now, if you look at this point of bounce is actually same as this. Now it the bounce is not good enough at 1 hour. As you could see, it's not lasting long. So maybe if this dips, who knows, maybe this is the candle where it got bounced, maybe it will hit this one, and ultimately it could hit this one as well. So now I provided this box because I thought this is a resistance, and it's a support, and it is a support. It gave a bounce, but now I don't feel like providing any kind of interim. Even if I would say I would remove it, even this is the point where it is consolidating, because there's no value add in my point of view. What is missing here is the strength of bounce. What we saw here, we are not seeing anywhere else. Now, it's not that it has to happen now. It can happen later. The I think the condition that I want to add here is, now that this orange line becomes the most important line, um, I don't mind if it drops quickly and gives a bounce, and that bounce will be like last bounce. Last means it should never return back. What we are seeing is all this bounce, they're returning back, and I think I consider this bounce as the main one, and this is a secondary one, and then this is another one which is important, going to be very important, right? Now another perspective could be like, this is a wedge, these are like wedge, this is a wedge but very steep one. This is another wedge. When wedge is a pattern where it's like this, where both the bounds, upper bound and the lower bound, at some angle, and both are lowering. So on a this kind of a wedge, downside wedge, where the slope of the lower and the upper is pointing down. Okay, so this is a lower side, this is a wedge on the downside. So the price is following this wedge. So this is a move, then a move, another, this is a dip, then a stop by this line, stop by this line. So TA point of view, this is how it's traversing. Now it could do something like this also, and this, and then move up, right? Or it could move up from here also, right? We don't know. And if this is broken below, then of course, as I said, sometime it could bounce from here, it could bounce from here, it doesn't matter. So as far as risk management is concerned, you know what I recommend, not as a financial consulting, but risk management point of view, never sell all in one go. One has to reduce at different levels, and to me, you can consider this as one level, this is another level. S4 is there, it but now I think this is more important level. So I would the scenario that I see here is this, where it's the price is traversing within this wedge, and it should be able to provide a bounce from here in some, but if this pattern fails, if this then we have this lower level 25k. I think this is the last level I could think before I say any trend level risk. What I mean is, if it breaks below 25k, then I would say we are at a greater risk from a trend level. So I'm not expecting BTC to go all the way there. This is the first level, but even if this is the level where it goes, it won't change the trajectory, it won't break the bull run in my point of view. However, that's not something we want, but just a scenario at this moment, right? So at a lower time scale, as I said, we are tracking this wedge, let's say, but if you want to zoom out, and then forget about all this is too much, I don't care about it, then you just track S4.4 in my point of view. So it could be like orange level, and as these are not so far, so 32k range in short will become very important range for us to tell us, because if it comes down to this range, then I think it will really create a downside pressure, right? So technically speaking, this is still making higher lows, right? This was the lowest, then a higher low. Right now this is the recent low, but let's say even if it comes down to this level, this is still a higher low, and it won't change anything. Okay, it's just extending the boredom, extending the chaos, extending the frustration, but it won't change anything fundamentally, right? So S4 is the requirement, and yesterday I mentioned that even if it breaks above 42k, I'm going to turn off the alert, because I don't think if it breaks above 42k, it is unlikely to return back. And if it returns back, we'll see, I don't care. But if it breaks above 42k, we'll turn off the alert, right? So what we want is bounce from here or bounce from here. It has to bounce. 32k range, 434k range is the range we are looking for. If it wants to play for here on Sunday, Saturday, whatever weekend, it could. But I think another aspect that I wanted to share is the volume. This is very important, volume. When it is falling, if you look at the volume is declining, Now the it's tricky part. Volume, declining volume is very positive when the price is at balance, when the structure is in balance. What I mean is, what is off balance means it's like a pendulum, right? When the pendulum, if you think of it, that weighing, like left hand side, right side, not the weighing machine, the pendulum, you know that. So i- right now the pendulum is at balance. It comes below this one, then it will weigh more on the downside. If it breaks above S4, then it will weigh more on the upside. That's how I see. Okay, so from a price point of view, price action point of view, right now it got its balance. The structure is not broken. Very important point from pattern point of view, consolidation point of view. This is at balance. So we are going to track this level S4, as I said, and we are going to track S4.4, or this lows, right? And this is right in the middle, right? So there's no need to conclude yet. We have to see where it goes, where it approaches S4 or it approaches this lower. That will change the balance. So price point of view, right now it's at balance. Now volume, you have to put volume and balance, this price together. The volume, declining volume, is positive when price is at balance, because it tells you the severity. And so if price point of view, you must have seen the fall. This fall and this fall is different. This fall had more participation. That means there are more activities, more agreement on this fall than this fall. It's like, you know um, it tells you that market is not interested in further fall. Yes. If you compare this fall and compare this fall, market was more interested in fall, right? Here the market is not so interested comparatively, in a relative term, of course. Here market was extreme, because that's why the more participation that you saw. So that's why this declining volume that you see, let me draw a quick line. Declining volume is positive. So what it also tells you, you see there's very little wiggle room. And if I say, so you see this, I'm getting March 30th. So if it breaks above S4, you will see spike in volume. If you see break down from here onwards, then you will spike. But the point is, result is eminent here. There's no room left. So today is 29th. In 1 day or 2 day, it has to decide, because there is no room left from volume profiling point of view. Okay, so based on volume, see, there are different ways to evaluate situation on a technical ground. So this is evaluation based on volume, and there's no room left. Okay, and so we should see results, whether the results on a favoring side or not. It all depends, as I said, the balance, where the price move, right? Whether near this region or near this region. So that's something we have to see. Volume is giving us some timeline, and that timeline is 1 day or 2 day, and this balance will tell you the direction, right? So this is a simple explanation from structure point of view, from volume point of view. This session is being recorded, so those who join need not have to worry. I'm going to upload it. There's some members joining just now. So anyways, you won't miss anything. Okay, so this is Bitcoin at 1 hour scale, but 1 hour is, I purposefully share, because to show inner working of it. As I explained, this wedge is being built, this trend line is to be watched, volume is declining, 1 day is left, 1 day, 2 day is left from volume point of view. So this is how it looks like, right? Mm, if I zoom out and hide drawings, then we see total different pattern. Then we are now looking at the pattern where you're seeing the right hand side of the structure compared to this left hand side. It's not identical, of course. It's not like a mirror image, but it tells you that this is a major resistance zone uh, if I put everything together, right? And what we are expecting is now they, take a turn. It should take a turn in a 1 day or 2 day. But as I said, these levels are important. If it continue going down, then this pattern will break. So it will start breaking once it breaks below 33,500, and as it goes down, it will start even breaking up further, right? So 33,400, I would say, would raise an alarm, right? So risk management point of view, as I said, it's not a bad idea to, if you're not able to manage risk so far, maybe it's not a bad idea to manage risk always in increment, as I said, not a financial advice, but slowly, right? And that's why, because then, and sometime this is a quick move, and it is possible that it could make a quick move and you may not be able to do any activity. Sometime you feel helpless, and it is possible if the drop is quick. In that case, it could, in some cases, it could end up with a quick drop, retest this range roughly, and then go back, you know so that's why anyone who sell in panic would be in more panic for losing out. So that's why I'm saying whatever you do gradually. So this is a big picture, right? And we have this lower support up to S7 up to here. Even if it touches here, it is not going to break a trend. But yeah, after that it is meaningless to me. Even after this one, it is not so good. Breaking below 30k is not good, but this is my lowest level. But, and as I said, it doesn't make sense to just keep watching it fall all the way here. This level I gave, so in case if it comes down, that there is a point of re-entry. You can re-enter only if you have cash. So anyone who thinks that this is dying, wrong. Anyone who thinks this is crashing, wrong. This is at a balance. As you could see, this is a upper bound, this is a lower bound, it is right in the middle. Don't assume anything. As it goes lower, it changes the balance. As it goes up, on the upside, it changes the balance. So at this moment, sometime phase like this, it's totally indecisive, and sometime we have to take it whether we like it or not. And that's what I am also doing it. I'm not trying to judge anything. For me, as I said, where at, it all depends on the balance right now, right? So that's my take at this moment. And what else should I add? Yeah, I think I added everything. As I said, I'll turn off the alert once it breaks above 42k. So anyway, so this session is recorded. I'll stop this session, take your question, and we'll move into alt.